Mumbai Airport. The second on point looks at Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee evoking Bengali pride in the state. In the third on point, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaia's wife gets a clean chit from Supreme Court in the Muda scam as Apex Court wraps Enforcement Directorate. In the fourth on point, Congress says, goodbye Shashi Tharoor, and is this for real? Stormy start to monsoon session of Parliament. Rahul Gandhi alleges he was not allowed to speak in Lok Sabha despite being the leader of the opposition. Centre begins impeachment of Justice Yashwant Verma. Over 200 MPs submit motion in Parliament. Kerala High Court bans drone cameras at Sabrimala, imposes curbs on videography. CBSE's big move on student safety. Schools must install high-resolution CCTV cameras. At least 3 killed, others injured after a massive explosion at a fireworks factory in Tamil Nadu's Sivakasi. Heavy rains lashed Mumbai through the night. Key areas waterlogged. IMD issues alert for more showers. Supreme Court extends stay on the release of the film Udaipur files until 24th July. At least 19 killed, over 100 injured after a Bangladesh Air Force jet crashes into a Dhaka school and college campus. US team to visit India in August for next round of trade talks. An Air India flight flying in from Kochi had a close shave while landing in Mumbai this morning after it veered off the rain-soaked runway. All passengers aboard the aircraft are safe, airport authorities have said. Sources indicate that the 3 tyres burst during the landing and the aircraft engine may have been damaged. The runway too has been damaged. However, the aircraft was able to taxi safely to the terminal gate where all passengers and crew disembarked. It just tells us how close the plane came to a tragedy, and it raises concerns of the aviation safety. Air India issued a statement confirming the incident. They said flight A12744 operating from Kochi to Mumbai on 21st July 2025 experienced heavy rain during landing, resulting in a runway excursion after touchdown. The aircraft taxied safely to the gate and all passengers and crew members have since disembarked. The safety of passengers and crew remain our top priority. Now, on this issue, I am joined by Captain Sanjay Kave, aviation expert. And the biggest issue is, which we are going to take up through our question is, how did this touchdown excursion took place? So, Captain Kave, can you just take us through how can an engine like this be damaged on a runway?
The pictures which are there on the screen are really surprising. You also have a patch of grass on top of the engine. Now, what I assume that this aircraft was operating on Kochi-Mumbai sector. Cochin is also as monsoon prone as Mumbai is. That means the crew which was nominated or deputed for this particular flight was obviously well versed in monsoon operations, because Cochin rains are as good or as bad as Mumbai. The time of the landing, which is around 9:30 or 9:35, that is also the high tide time at Mumbai today. And today's high tide was approximately 3.9 to 4 meters. So you can be rest assured that at the time of landing, the runway was definitely not drained out or it had water on it, because the river, which is the Mithi River, which carries the excess water from the runway into sea, that also would have been flooded. Point to be noted here is, once the aircraft is on final approach, he is asked for clearance to the ATC, which normally would be, he would be on the glide slope and say, okay, I'm on glide slope, and ATC would tell him clear to land. The decision-making authority remains with the captain of the aircraft. from the time the doors close on a gate or an aero bridge till the time the gates open, the decision, the pilot in command is fully responsible for the safety of the aircraft. And he has full authority to abandon the landing, go around, or go for a diversion. All aircraft in India are mandated to have diversionary fuel. So there is no question of the aircraft not having fuel. What possibly could have happened is the slant visibility creates a problem. He would have broken off from clouds at 200 feet, 300 feet.
Captain, how dangerous, because we are putting these questions on the right side, how dangerous was this incident?
Well, the picture, what is being shown, if your engine has picked up, the top of the engine has picked up grass, that means the aircraft has actually veered off the runway. And what is dangerous is having veered off the runway, how has the aircraft taxied back? He should have actually stopped the aircraft immediately afterwards to check. You have a damaged engine, you have mud or grass piled up on top of the engine. I accept that the pilot, because of heavy rains, may not have been able to appreciate as to what actually happened. But there are rapid exit ways. So it is quite possible when taking an exit out of the runway, the aircraft has veered or skidded off the runway, what we normally call it as aquaplaning speed. Wet runway, high speed landing, and aquaplaning can always take place. Here there is a word of caution from ATC. Some people are blaming the ATC. Please try and understand, the air traffic controller sits 300 feet above the runway. And he is looking at the runway in a slant angle, that is a slant visibility. So it is really not possible or practical for him to figure out whether the runway is flooded or not flooded, unless until the previous aircraft which has landed has reported that runway is flooded, or an aircraft which is taking off has reported that the runway is flooded, or the ground control. There are moving vans there. They have reported to ATC that look, the runway is flooded. So unless until the air traffic control knows as to what is the actual state of runway, it is very difficult for the air traffic control to warn the aircraft. Obviously, he has another problem. Any weather or met related warning has to be based on the written input that he gets from the IMD. He cannot assume and say, okay, I perceive that the visibility is bad.
Sir, is it possible for an aircraft to run off the skid off the runway, go through that padded grass and come back to the runway again? Because if you look, and then they are saying that the tires also burst. Can this sort of a movement possible from a strong surface to a sponge surface back to the cemented surface?
Yes, from a strong surface to the grassy surface is very much possible. The aircraft would have skidded or aquaplaned onto there. Thereafter, the crew, in trying to get back to the runway surface, he would have used adequate amount of power. Now that is where the tires may have got burst when trying to climb up or things like that, because these engines produce a phenomenal amount of thrust. So it is very much possible for an aircraft to climb back onto a tarmac or onto a firm surface from the grassy patch. And when we are saying a grassy patch, it is not slushy. It is wet. It is not that the aircraft is going to get stuck into it. It is just next to a taxi track or rapid exitways. But that is the way probably the tires have got damaged. But the engine damage is something which is surprising. That means the engine has really touched something, either runway lights or some fixed marking on the runway, which it has touched.
So before I let go of you, what should be avoided in a situation like this?
In a situation like this, ideally, the pilot should have taken a call to go round. We really do not know why he continued with the landing. Either he thought that the rains are good enough, or the runway is not waterlogged and he would be able to control it. Or alternatively, we don't know which rapid exitway he has taken. Has he gone right up to the end of the runway, or has decided to take an exitway halfway through the runway or 60% down? Probably if he had continued right till the end of the runway, his speed would have been low, it would have been controllable.
Okay.
So we really don't know what stage he has exited the runway.
But you have to admit that it was very, very scary for all the passengers. Very, very scary experience for all the passengers. Bravo for the pilots to have meandered the aircraft back to safety. But then it does really raises questions about the procedures. What could have been done? What should have been done? But the good thing is that there was no loss of life, and everyone made safely back home. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. This was on point one. In the second on point, we look at how Mamata Banerjee had evoked the Bengali pride issue. The ruling Trinamool and the opposition BJP are raising the political pitch in West Bengal, evoking the issue of Bengali Asmita. At a mega rally to mark the Shahid Divas on Monday, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee took on BJP, accusing